So I hope everyone in this room has cyber insurance coverage, because I think that this would be a good tool in a ransomware situation. The insurance companies that we work with have a lot of experience dealing with ransomware events. And typically they can tell upfront whether or not a ransomware bad actor is a trustworthy bad actor or not trustworthy bad actor. Meaning, if you pay the ransom, are you going to get access to your system back? And the insurance companies have handled thousands and thousands of breaches, and they know how to handle these type of situations. They bring in experts from the outside to triage, to really find out what has been accessed, all that kind of stuff. So I would say work with your insurance company first and foremost. They have breach response teams that are able to step in right away and to help in those situations. One trend that I would say is insurance companies are looking at where the money is going. From a regulatory standpoint, there are restricted countries where money cannot flow. So like Iraq or Afghanistan or Russia or China, if there's restricted countries, and these are nation state attacks, the federal government in certain situations will not they discourage the payment of these ransoms, and the insurance companies may or may not reimburse you for those ransoms. So that's something to really keep in mind when those situations do come up. But maybe we can talk about cyber resiliency and how we can have you best prepared so that you're not paying a ransom because you have the proper procedures in place, the backups to get back up and running without actually paying the ransom.
Yeah, a couple of things I'll add. Hopefully you don't pay the ransom. My strong recommendation to you is do everything possible, even at your own pain and turmoil, to not pay the ransom. Right? That's the goal. A couple things I'll add to that. FinCEN, federal, like the federal, I forget what they stand for, Crimes Enforcement Network, and Treasury have produced a new ruling last year, not even really a clarification last year, that says just what you just said, Joe, is you cannot, must not, will not, shall not pay a sanctioned country. There's a number of these. A lot of these ransomware operators act out of those countries. It is illegal to do so. So it's a big deal that you don't pay the ransom yourself. I will tell you that. If it comes to the point where your legal counsel is advising to pay or whatever happens, and again, hear me, please don't pay the ransom. But if you come to the point where you have to, do not do it yourself. You must work with your cyber insurance carriers. You must work with legal counsel. You must work with the advice of law enforcement to go through those situations. You cannot pay it yourself. It's very, very dangerous for you to do that. Just because of all of the legal complications that exist in that, it should not be your call. And make sure that you have a conversation with your insurance carrier to understand, should we have a breach or even a suspected breach? Understand how I get in touch with them, who's the first person I call there, did they engage legal counsel for me, do I have to have it on my own, and understand the constraints in your cyber insurance. So you game plan that, you understand. Because the last thing you want to do is have some kind of incident that happens, and then you have to go through that nightmare scenario of I can't claim, I don't have enough to claim, or my claim goes above what I need. Those are horrible situations, and you can resolve those by having a conversation with your insurance carrier. And then probably your third or fourth call needs to be to Jesse and Perch team, so that you can really begin to work through what happened, how did it happen, how much was it occurred, all that kind of stuff. And that's the stuff we do as well. So they'll bring us into those situations. And then we'll deploy what's going on. We'll see the log data of what's happening, what's occurring. And I will say those things are, if you deploy in the aftermath, there's a lot you're going to miss. If you already have a lot of, going back to resilience, we have a lot of those controls from the beginning. I'm trying to see you folks over there too. Sorry, I don't mean to leave you out. Then it gives you so much better ability to know what happened, how it happened, when it happened. And you talk about all the new state disclosure laws that are now in place, where you have to disclose to your customers, your partners, all that kind of stuff. Ohio has one, I know. I'm sure, I do know Kentucky has one. That complicates things. And so those are things where you have to have technology in place to have the forensic data to be able to know what's happened in those situations. So just some things to think about. Those things all come through when you sort of tabletop test. Let's pretend a breach happened right now. What would we do? Well, we would do this, we would do this, we would do this. Those are the kind of things your organization should do to be prepared.
Yeah, those are really good points. The disclosure laws, we had the Ohio Data Protection Act get passed into legislation about 3 years ago, and I was hopeful that that would influence more leaders within organizations to take security seriously, put forth the investments, and it is. But recently what I've seen in influenced those decisions more so is on the cyber liability side. A lot of folks are now being required to implement multi-factor authentication, for example. And we get the calls, right, because it's renewal time, and they're like, oh, well, I can't renew unless I implement this technology, right? And so can we get that done in 30 days, which we just love to rush projects like that.